128 KB podcast. We are back once again.
Due to popular demand. Oh!
No!
Oh!
You've broken me!
Lack of popular demand. There you go.
This is your weekly dose of all things gaming with two
Yes.
delusional and fictitious and fake gamers.
Yes.
Here to celebrate the new year with
Woo,
you.
woo, woo, woo.
Yes, Happy New Year, all you
Yes.
gamers.
We're going to sit here and count down with you. So
No, we're not.
sit here for hours.
If you're listening to this at the turn of the new year, I'm so sorry. It's going to be a massive disappointment. Just genuinely like sad and disappointing.
Oh.
Even Andy's got better things to do. Shock horror, we might not be recording this on New Year's Eve.
Oh. But it is New Year's Eve today, of the time that most people are probably listening.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Maybe it's after the fact.
Yeah. In which case, I hope you had a great New Year.
Yes, absolutely.
How's your weekend gaming been? Christmas
happened.
happened.
Yes, it did. Yeah, getting lots of stuff done. You know, just chilling, eating too much, drinking lots. You know, fluids and things.
As opposed to solids?
Yes,
Drinking those solids?
Yes, yeah. How about yourself?
Well, I've just been generally enjoying the fact that we now have a new set.
I really love that too.
Yeah. Well, it's not a new set. It's the same set.
It's the same set.
We just changed it.
Yeah.
For the new channel.
Yeah.
For the old channel.
Yeah.
For moving the channel.
Yeah. Moving the channel.
What was it we did?
Moved it to this channel.
That's right.
With a new set.
We moved the podcast home.
Yes.
And I think, do you know what's interesting about that? When we set off to do 128 KB very originally, the idea was it would be a podcast and we'd play games together.
Yes.
That was the original idea.
That was the original idea, yeah.
So it's funny that after all these years, that the podcast has come home back to 128 KB. Isn't it? I think it's kind of weird.
I like it.
Yeah, so, you know.
I think it makes so much sense to have everything here.
Yeah.
We've got like the reviews and our discussions. Then we've got podcasts. We've got the news.
Yeah.
And it's all in one home.
Yeah.
128 KB home.
Yeah, it just makes loads of sense. I'd love to know if you guys enjoy being here as well. Let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, so Christmas happened and I've basically just been playing it. I'm doing what I promised I would do.
Yep.
And just playing lots of games.
Have you completed Indiana Jones yet?
I have completed Indiana
You
Jones.
have?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
How was the ending?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh.
Foreshadowing.
I was hoping you'd spoil it for me. Because as always, I've not completed it yet.
You're not going to complete anything, ever.
I don't complete anything.
Is that your New Year's resolution? Because we should talk about them.
Yes, we should talk about them, really.
Gaming resolutions.
Yeah, I know you bring this up almost every week, saying, have I told you my New Year's resolution? And I say, yeah, we talked about
Since
that last week.
October, I've been doing it. So, long-time listeners will know exactly what I'm going to say.
Oh, exactly.
But what's yours?
Exactly the same. Yeah.
Really?
We've actually had parallel New Year's resolutions without
Every
even
year.
discussing that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
And then we're like, how, why is this aligned?
I was actually really happy with, I saw it through this year as well.
Yes.
There was a few tight moments, a few close moments, which I didn't.
Yeah.
For those of you that didn't know, my resolution was, and yours at the same time, stop buying retro games that I'm not going to play.
We were buying so many retro games.
Mate, every week.
I know.
I was going to the pawnbrokers.
Yeah.
I went into charity shops looking. And I was on the groups.
I was in
on
groups,
Facebook, like
eBay,
stalking stuff,
like
mate.
World of Books.
You shouldn't tell everyone.
No,
It's like a really good secret.
No one knows what that is. You didn't hear that.
Links. Hopefully they got an affiliate program.
Yeah.
Get something out
Possibly links below. Yeah. But I was exactly the same. Like the amount of Game Boy games and stuff I was buying and just not playing. They're just on the shelf.
On a shelf.
Yeah, like wicked.
And it's cool. Like I like how I've got loads of more PlayStation games than I could ever play. But it did just get silly, especially PS2. PS2 got really out of hand. But I'd get this fever.
Yeah.
I'd go into a pawnbrokers like CEX in the UK, and I'd see PlayStation 2 game for 50p.
Yeah.
Take that, and then I'm like, oh, that one's £1.
Yeah.
And literally every week I'd come away with a stack like this.
Every week I'd come down and there'd just be another stack on your desk. I'm like, can I have a look?
Why did you get that? I don't know. I don't know. I just did.
Yeah.
So I've stopped. Although there's still that part of me. I still look.
Yeah, I know. We had that incident when I sold the PS5.
Yes.
And there was a Japanese version of Biohazard, Resident Evil.
I still kind of want to buy it.
And I was walking out of the shop and you were still there looking at it, asking the guy questions like, does it have the manual? And I was like, AJ, no! Come with me! No, you're not having it.
I'm just going to buy it and put it on the shelf.
Yeah. And you did resist.
Yeah, I think I've got two New Year's resolutions. One kind of follows on from that. The next one is to stop buying things that I know I'm not going to use, full stop.
Yeah.
I've got a problem with like controllers, like accessories and stuff, and just buying them and going, the PlayStation 30th anniversary was the most recent version of that.
Yeah, that's justified.
Is it though?
Yeah. It's the 30th anniversary.
It's just going to sit on a shelf.
It's going to sit on a shelf, gain value.
Yeah, but I'm never going to sell it.
It's fine. It's cool.
That was always the justification for all this stuff. It's like, you're buying it really cheap, it will go up in value. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not the kind of person that sells stuff.
No, I wouldn't for like big stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I sell stuff to get the next better thing. Do you know what I mean?
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. But I wouldn't sell like all my old collection stuff, you know. So I get you, but I find the out of most things, the 30th anniversary edition is justified.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
the
cool.
controller's really cool.
So good.
Yeah.
You know?
So I need to. I kind of exercised it a little bit with the Portal and cancelling pre-order. Old me would have just bought it.
Yes, that's true.
But you know, like when you have your Nintendo Switch Online account active, and they bring out like the NES Switch controllers and stuff. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a Wavebird one at some point. We know that's going to come at some point.
That's got to happen.
I know that there's a big part of me that will just want to buy it.
I'm going to let you buy one of them.
Oh, no, you've got to help me. No, I've got problems.
You need to buy a Switch 2 by that point.
Yeah, I'll buy a Switch 2.
And also a Wavebird. That'll be worth it. GameCube on Switch Online.
Yeah, I don't know how worth it will be.
That's not pointless.
It depends on the games.
That's true. But
because let's face it, Switch Online at the moment.
Yeah, that sucks. But when GameCube comes onto it, it would be good.
Why didn't they just put the old Wii eShop active on the Switch?
Yeah, that would have been cool.
So you could just get anything.
They should have just reignited the Wii U.
Yeah.
The store, which is miles better than the eShop.
Oh, it really is.
I hate the eShop.
Foreshadowing, actually, talking of that, that's one thing I'd really love to see Nintendo change next year.
Oh, it has
I know we're going to get into the things we want next year from handhelds. But
yeah.
The eShop.
The Switch 2 cannot be the same of the Switch. It can't.
It might do.
They've gone backwards.
Yeah. The Wii U one was way better.
The Wii U one was perfect. Yeah. It worked.
Yeah.
What's there now?
It's that thing of like you go in and like, I want to find a game. There's no way of like searching properly unless you know exactly what you want.
Yeah, unless you know the exact title.
Yeah, so then you're like scrolling through letters.
Yep.
And it will crash.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're back to the start.
Yep.
Oh, and because there's like 10,000 hentai games on there.
Yes.
Not that I've bought them all, but I wouldn't know.
No, but you've got to see the trailers first. You know.
I've got to watch all the trailers. It's weird that all that like jank.
That's what I mean.
Nintendo allow that.
They're so high quality.
Yeah.
And yet they let so much crap like on the store. What's with that?
It's weird, isn't it?
It is weird.
My other New Year's resolution, as I've explained before, is I need to get through my backlog.
Yes.
So I've actually made a little bit of a list of games I need to play this year. The problem is that new things come along that I want to play, and it's probably on Game Pass and playing it, like Indiana Jones.
Yes, that's my main thing. Is if I get time, then going through some backlog of games I've already started.
Yeah.
Then that's something I want to do. But my main thing is if something new comes out, I want to make sure that I complete that. And I mean, I felt that extra urge to do so when I completed Miles Morales, Spider-Man on the LIX.
100% of it.
I 100%ed it. And I didn't even intend to play the game. It was meant to be testing my eGPU. And then I just got lost in it. I was like, this is wicked. And every night I was loading it up like, yeah. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I 100%ed it. It's like, oh, wow, okay. I wasn't even intending to do that. And I feel like that's the best way when something captivates you that well that you just lose your time in the game.
Here's something. Yeah. I don't think I've ever 100%ed a game.
Wow.
I can't remember.
Wow.
One that springs to mind.
Wow.
I almost always complete games once I start them. I've got that kind of like weird tunnel vision.
Yeah, complete like the story and stuff. Yeah, but making sure you've got every hidden thing, every like side quest.
I normally get a bit fed up.
Yeah,
as we've talked about before. Get fed up about halfway through, and I'm like, speed run to the end.
It depends on the type of game. Again, the thing which is actually really cool about Spider-Man is they're really short.
Very true.
Like, so I mean, I say that, and it probably still took me 20 hours, 25 hours.
That's pretty short now. For now,
yeah, for 100%.
Yeah,
and I was taking my time. I'm not like rushing. I never rush games. I just play it, and if it captivates me, I'll do it. But
yeah, if you think like 20 hours, it's not that bad, is it? If you play it, if you've a couple of hours every few nights, you know, you get through it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what happened. I mean, I always used to go into a game intentionally going to 100%.
Yeah.
And then that was my downfall. So I would 100% like 50% of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And then just turn it off.
Yeah.
And then never go back. And then I was like, oh, like that's kind of sad. Now I don't even know what the story does, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now I want to focus on just like with Indiana Jones, I'm not getting lost in the side quests.
Yes.
There's so many of them.
So many.
And I know that I've been tempted. I'm like, I'll just go. I just
need to collect. I just need to take pictures of 5 more cats.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, just stick to the story because you're terrible for putting games down. So that's what I've been doing. I've just been sticking with the story.
Yeah.
I've done the occasional side quest.
Of course.
But I've not been like...
Once you're there, might as well.
Yeah, whereas with like Miles Morales, I was opening the map and being like, oh, look, I've got like 6 out of 20. I'll just do the rest of them. And then I would get lost doing that before I did the next main mission.
Yeah.
But I think my New Year's resolution is stop trying 100% games.
Get free backlogs.
And just get through them. Like complete the thing.
I'm putting you on the spot now. You might not remember. What in your backlog are you most looking forward to playing?
Oh, wow.
Oh, so not a new game coming.
No, something I've already started.
Started, or you own and you're like, I really haven't even opened it yet.
Oh, wow. Okay. One game I've played a little bit of already.
Please don't say Star Wars Outlaws because I need to win the bet.
That is one.
No, you're not allowed to.
That is one. But again, with that, I have been doing a lot of side quests in that game, and I don't want to anymore. I just want to like crack through the story on that.
Yeah.
But no, Tales of Kenzera Zhao is one. You know the Metroidvania.
Yeah.
So that's a game I really like the look of before it launched, and also one that I enjoyed the start of. But I think at the time, I can't remember what was happening. We were doing videos about something else.
Loads of games coming out at that time.
There was a lot of stuff happening. So I just played a bit of it and I went, now I'll just wait. Maybe it was the time when we got the Ally X and I was doing a lot of content. So I just didn't really have time to like focus on that game.
Because you would have had it on Steam, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's a very Steam Deck kind of game.
Yeah, I bought it on PC on Steam 100%. But yeah, so that's a game I want to go back and play because it's right up my street.
Yeah.
Another game that I want to finish because I still haven't finished it, even though I bang on about how amazing it is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Oh, do you know, I keep getting tempted to buy it.
I would
seeing it everywhere.
Get that. Like, if you intend to play it, I highly recommend anyone listening, if you're into 2D games or platformers of any kind or Metroidvanias, get that game. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is phenomenal.
It's another game I didn't think, because I'm not as into Metroidvanias as you. Mainly, I love the combat. I love the idea of exploring. I dislike the platform elements of them.
Yes.
I just struggle, as we've joked about, I struggle with it.
But Prince of Persia makes it easier because it gives you like accessibility options with your skills. Like rewinding time, like that kind of thing. But also you can create snapshots of yourself before a trap or before a route that you know is going to kill you.
Yeah.
And then you just teleport back to the start without dying or whatever, you know? So
that's what I was going to say is I was surprised when I played the demo. I think I played the demo through twice.
Yeah, I remember you saying
like
you
the
did.
Pre-launch.
Yes, yeah.
Really good. I was like genuinely very surprised how much I enjoyed that.
Yes, far more forgiving than say Metroid Dread.
Way more forgiving.
Yeah, like and you can put easy mode on.
Yeah,
so it tells you where to go.
Dread has that Dread.
Yeah,
Dread has that the combat mechanic where it's like imperative that your timing is spot on.
Yes, and if you want 100% it, you got to get good.
Yeah, you got to get good. You got to get good at platform elements. The kind of
you've got to like shine spark off of stuff, and then like bounce off of stuff, and you. Like pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah,
I remember showing you one of those. I think I put it on Twitter like years ago when it came out, and it was just like an insane run, and you were like, "What is that?" And I was like,
"You just do."
I was like, "Yeah, it took me ages to."
I needed to get that one rocket.
Yeah. I 100% did that as well. But yeah, anyway, so those are 2 games which, funny enough, are both like Metroidvanias.
Is Prime 4 coming out next year?
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't imagine that was happening.
I know, it's mad.
Actually, it's happening.
I know, yeah.
We saw it.
Yep.
We did see it.
We did see it, yes.
Do you remember when?
No. It's not got a date.
Oh, it's a Switch 2 release isn't it?
Yeah. It's just 2025. I reckon it'll be a dual release because they've already kind of said on Switch.
Yeah.
But
a lot of the Nintendo games releasing this year with dual release.
I want to see it as good as it can be on Switch 2. I don't want like a rubbish Switch release like the month before the Switch 2 comes out, and then we just have to suffer with like a rubbish version. Do you know what I mean?
They had to water it down.
Yeah. I want to see all the bells and whistles.
Do you know, what I will say is, though, I think there will be some dual releases, but also that's not particularly a Nintendo thing to do, is it? Backwards compatibility is, as in you'll be able to play Switch games on your Switch 2.
I don't know.
How often do they... I suppose Wii and Wii U, they might have a little bit.
They do, they do. I mean, look at...
they sometimes they draw a line in the sand and go, nope.
Breath of the Wild. Wii U game.
Wii U game, yeah. But that wasn't a dual release.
No,
that was a Wii U game that was re-released.
That's true. And the same with Twilight Princess was a GameCube game.
And you think like Mario Kart 8 was then re-released as Deluxe.
Yeah, true. But yeah, dual release, you're right. I don't think they tend to do that.
I'm trying to think in between. It's hard to remember because in between generations is always so long ago.
Yeah.
But you think like, it's different now though, isn't it? I suppose is the other argument to that.
Yeah.
Because the difference between generations is smaller and compatibility is less of a problem.
Yeah. Because before there was totally different architecture.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's all the same. They're all just PCs.
It's a little NVIDIA PC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's not hard.
I guess it's actually a really good point to move on to looking forward, because that's what I wanted this episode in 2025, the end of 2024 to be about.
End of 2025.
Time travel.
Wow, where did that year go, man? Like, that was quick.
I firmly believe that 2025 is going to be the year dominated by handheld gaming, which is right up our street.
Yes.
I mean, it's been a big year for handheld gaming on 128 KB in general. The Ally X really did kind of...
It's incredible.
Yeah, it really did elevate that. And I think that 2025 will be the year of handheld gaming.
Yes. Yeah.
So I wanted to look ahead and what we want and what we can expect from next year's handhelds, both in what's actually going to be released and what's going to be announced or teased as well, because we are expecting some other stuff a little bit further along.
Absolutely.
And the best place to start is the Nintendo Switch 2.
I was going to say that. Yes, I totally agree, because this is a long time coming.
Long time coming.
I mean, it will be 2025.
Yeah.
The APU in the Switch is from 2015.
It will be 10
years
old.
It's a 10 years gap. I mean, I don't actually know how old the APU will be in the Switch 2. Maybe a year old already. Because obviously it needs time to have been developed and then manufactured and whatever else. They need time to make games for it and stuff. So maybe it's a 2024 chip. I don't know. But 10 years, basically.
Firstly, I will say the best guesses now are it will be an announcement around the start of the year.
Yep.
So end of January, start of February time. We'll hear about it. Best guesses are it won't be released until June.
Yes.
Because there was initial thoughts that we would see it in April, May time. But they are struggling to manufacture. Yeah. It's the stories that are coming out anyway. That they would only have, I think it's 650,000 units available if they released something like that at the start of their financial year. Which is obviously not going to be enough. I think they sold 2 million in the first month of the Switch.
Yeah,
it was huge. It was like
I think it was less than that. It was like,
it was
in terms of time, they sold 2 million like a week or something. It was something silly.
Whatever it was, the number far exceeded what the stock would have, and that would obviously create PS5 problems.
Yes,
we saw.
Yeah, the Switch suffered hard at launch for stock. I remember that much.
I think it will still be a problem.
Yeah.
I think the pent-up demand is so huge.
Yeah, everyone's been waiting.
Everyone's been waiting. We've got 146 million units sold of the Switch. What was the active players? It was like 115 million.
It was something insane, wasn't it?
So you've got 115 million people worldwide who are active players of the Switch.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine the vast majority of them have had it for more than 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
So they're all waiting.
Yes.
So it's going to be a huge amount of demand. I think stock's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah,
even if they do delay.
I'm getting in day one.
You're getting in day
one.
I
don't care. I'm getting it. I'm pushing people over in the crowd. Get out of my way.
I'm going to see if I can get such a Nintendo PR by then.
Yes, and get some.
Get some.
128 KB branded ones. Yes. Oh,
wow.
Nintendo Red with 128 KB on the background.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that.
You want a 128 kilobyte version of
Yes,
Nintendo?
that much storage is what's officially confirmed in the Switch 2, yeah.
That much RAM.
Can you imagine? Can play Pong and Tetris.
Basically, you want a Game Boy.
Yes. But yeah, so I agree though that
Stock's going
will
to be a problem.
an issue no matter what. Even if they had enough, I think it would be a problem.
Yes, I totally agree. Yeah.
Because everyone has had the Switch for like 5 years or so by now, and everyone's waiting for that next step up.
DLSS, is it there?
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
It's got to be. This is NVIDIA. So NVIDIA made the original APU.
Yeah.
And they're making the second one, so it will be stupid not to. The whole point of upscaling and stuff is to take load off of the processing to make it easier for the processor instead of just having to have brute force strength to go through. So APUs specifically absolutely need that relief. Yeah. So I feel like I'm 99% certain it will have DLSS in it. Yeah. Even if they never tell you.
I fully believe that Nintendo would never call it DLSS.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't call it what it is.
Yeah.
They would likely use some terminology that they make up. And if there was any kind of frame gen, it would be likely their own.
I feel like they won't even say anything. You don't need to know.
You don't. Well, how much is talked about the specs for the Switch?
Exactly.
It just isn't part of the conversation, is it?
No. And it's for, the real techie people, like Digital Foundry, to take that, say, Switch 2 image and go, I can see they're using an upscaler because of the way it's ghosting here or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They are the ones that'll be able to tell, but little Billy doesn't care what it is.
At all.
He wants to see how cool Mario is on the new shiny thing he's just got.
I want to see how good Zelda looks, or Metroid Prime
I can
looks.
imagine them poo-pooing upscalers and frame gen and all that kind of stuff. But if they did, like we've spoken about before in the past, actually put like a VRR screen in, I can't imagine them highlighting that as a feature, like we said before, like super smooth or something, because it sounds cool. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, everything's even more cool, So I can imagine them saying that.
They tend to avoid the commonly used PC language in general, don't they?
Yeah, because it's confusing. It's just buzzwords and jargon.
It's just jargon.
That people don't care about. Like, is it good? Yes or no? That's what they want to show. Yeah. This is the best Mario looks right now ever yet. Yeah. They don't need to tell you that behind the thing, the APU's got this many cores and it's putting out this much TDP.
It's just that Link's never looked this good in the new...
Exactly, Look
remastered
how well...
Zelda.
Yeah. Look how much popping this 13 FPS Zelda's got.
Hey, look, Pokemon finally works.
That's what they're going to be like. Have you ever seen Pokemon work? You have now. They're not going to tell you why it works. No. But behind the scenes, I absolutely think DLSS will be in there. And I think it will be winning. The thing that will be interesting is whether they manage to get some even real minor base level ray tracing in there. It doesn't need it. In my opinion, there's no need for it at all.
There's no need for it. No.
But imagine how good like a Zelda would look with some ray tracing in it. Oh, it'd be stunning. Stunning.
Would they be as bold as to introduce like performance options in a menu?
I don't think they would.
It's so un-Nintendo.
It is so un-Nintendo.
Have a graphics and performance mode and it turns on some ray tracing.
I'd be there for it.
Do you want
15 FPS ray tracing? Or
I think about like Prime 4.
Exactly, that's what I want it for.
Ray tracing that would look cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so DLSS is almost certainly going to be there because it's an NVIDIA chip, and by now that's just that's one of the tools they use for everything.
It's necessary for it to output less power, to gain battery life, and keep the FPS higher. Yeah, so it's just a win-win.
How much will it outperform PISA?
Oh,
PlayStation's PSSR.
Day one, it will absolutely outperform because already DLSS is so much more. It's got like a bigger foundation, isn't it? It's more developed.
I mean,
we're well in there.
Well in there. What is it? Third
at the minute. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's been around the block.
Yeah. So they know exactly how to use it.
And currently with PSSR, with PISA, we're seeing developers coming out and saying turn it off.
See that thing you paid $700 for? Yeah. Stop it.
Use your old PS5.
Unplug it. Plug the PS5 back in. That's the fix. Why is my game not working, Mummy? Oh, you got to turn that one off. Get the old one back out. Where's the PS4?
Talking of PlayStation, just really quickly, I had a really interesting question before Christmas, and I'd like to know what your answer was to it.
Oh, yeah.
A friend of the show, Scott Wood.
Oh, yes.
He always listens. So I'm
Yeah.
going to
Hi,
name
Scott.
him. Yeah.
We love you.
He texted me and he asked me, he goes,
Oh.
my boy wants a PS5.
Okay.
Does the disk drive matter?
Oh.
So I was like, that's a really interesting question, isn't it? Because I gave him a specific answer and a reason why it would. But then it made me think about it afterwards. It's like, what would be your advice to someone now? Like, especially for a PS5 Pro that's diskless and the disk drive's an extra 100, if you can even get one.
Yes.
So out of stock, it's been scalped everywhere. How important is it? My answer, I'd say, was it depends on if he has an existing library of games.
Absolutely.
That was it.
That's the only reason, actually. Yeah. The other thing is, let's discount the original PS5 now.
Yes.
Because that's gone.
Yeah,
you can't buy that anymore. No. So now you're looking at the Slim or the PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
Both available without disk drives, with an additional purchase afterwards.
Yeah.
So it would be the disk drive doesn't matter. You can buy it later if it becomes a problem.
Yes.
So that, but really, I think everyone, I know I'm going to get hate for saying this, I think everyone should start going digital now. There
is one other caveat to that argument. That's all I'll say. Is there's one other caveat. Because I'm with you. I think everything digital, do you know what? Yeah. We're there now.
Yeah. And here I am sat on like a collection of how many Switch cartridges?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's very easy to say. The other part I'll say to that is, for some weird reason, quite often the disc version is cheaper.
It always is, which makes no sense.
Makes zero sense.
No sense whatsoever.
It's totally illogical.
They should be like 20-30% more expensive.
Yes.
Because of the amount of time.
Yeah.
Like the artwork.
The artwork, the printing, shipping, like
the packaging.
It's crazy. Paying a store sometimes.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Distribution, sending it around the planet.
Yeah.
You know, like people having to like mark this stuff up and retail it in a shop.
Or you're just issuing another copy off a server.
Like a free one.
Yeah.
Just copy and paste to someone. Like, what?
It's insane.
Doesn't make any sense, does it?
Yeah. So that was the other thing I said, is that, you know, you can also quite often find games cheaper.
That
is
actually the main reason.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense, but that is the way it is. I just question how many more discs they'll continue to issue and print. We saw with, let me get this right, Silent Hill 2 remake.
Yep.
There was a shortage of discs.
Wow.
And people were struggling to get pre-orders because there wasn't enough discs printed. I think we'll start to see that, like shortages of discs and games maybe not being printed at all.
Yes.
On the flip side of that, I know this isn't anything to do with handhelds, I've gone off on a tangent. Flip side to that, Square Enix still print PS1 games.
And what is with that?
Not all of their games. So they've got, in America, they've got like a range called Classics. It's got a weird green cover and stuff, but like...
So just press one a year.
So, some of their specific PS1, PS2, you know, there's some of their classic games. Final Fantasies, obviously, Chrono Trigger. And
it's odd.
It's odd, yeah. It's like, wow, why do that?
I would understand it if the PS5 was backwards compatible, but it's not. So no one's being able to play these games unless you've got original hardware PS1.
I know it's difficult. And I know it's very niche, but I seriously think if the PS5 Pro was backwards compatible with all platforms,
I know, yeah,
it would have sold way more.
Of course, if it could do 1, 2, 3.
I would definitely have bought it. I was selfish, but
yeah.
If it was like
of course, you've got every reason to.
If it was the ultimate way of playing PlayStation, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, just what, like the Xbox Series X.
Exactly like the Series X, which
no
one buys, and anyone who's not into Xbox hates.
Yeah,
but offers so much.
Yes,
they've put a lot in there. And
it's an incredible device.
Yeah. Anyway, handhelds. That's what we're talking about.
Yes. What were we talking about this Switch again before we went on a mad one?
What was I
can't remember.
The Switch. It was literally does the DLSS? I can never say.
We were talking about that.
Pisser.
And that was it. Yes. So yeah. Yes, I do think so.
Because, Day one, it definitely will.
Yeah, because Pisser's new technology.
Yes.
Developers are having a hard time because they don't understand what's going on with it, I suppose. Or just how it's meant to work or whatever. They just think, I just turn it on, it makes it good. Which is weird because DLSS and all this and FSR and stuff has been out for ages, and that needs to be implemented by the devs.
Yes, it does.
So how's it any different for Pisser?
The only thing I can think, because in all of these conversations, it's very easy to say out to developers being lazy.
It is, yeah.
But it's not. The developers are never lazy. There's always pressure instead from the publishers going, get it out, get it out, get it out. And the only thing I can seriously think is that the PlayStation technology team have not communicated enough clearly with the third-party developers.
So it's not the game devs, it's the PlayStation devs that are lazy.
I think so. Yeah. Well, why else would there be a disconnect between PlayStation Studios and third parties and how this is working?
Yeah, I totally get you. Yeah.
Weirdly, though, Square have sorted it out, and they were day one.
Yes. Yeah.
I know
they would have been working closely with it.
Yeah.
You know,
even after Square have decided to leave. That's an interesting part.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, we're going to leave you, by the way, but we'll do it right.
Yeah, well, yeah,
show you how it's done.
Yeah, you actually show us.
But I think Nintendo, with their DLSS, will absolutely outshine PSSR.
Yeah,
PSSR will get better in a year, but we're not there yet. So yeah, Switch 2, I think we will see something great from it, even though I don't expect it to be 4K or anything like that.
It doesn't need to be.
It's highly likely going to be being able to play all the modern games.
Yeah.
So we'll see brand new releases like day one on Switch 2, which we've not been seeing so far because we've been waiting for devs to make a Switch version and release it years later.
Yeah.
I think the future of the Switch will be all the lovely Nintendo stuff we all know and love, but will come from the third parties day one, like Call of Duty.
Parity.
Complete parity, because the Switch will still output at 720p, 900p.
Yeah.
But with these upscalers and stuff, we will actually be able to play the most modern titles on it.
Do you think they'll hit 1440 as an output onto a monitor? Do you think
I
it's
don't
just
think so.
target 1080?
I reckon it'll be 1080.
Upscaled to 1080.
Yeah. But we'll be able to play like higher graphics and stuff.
The only thing that I would put a question mark there is that doesn't future-proof it particularly well.
But it's Nintendo. They do weird stuff.
They do.
Do you know what I mean?
And there's going to be a surprise. We've talked about this at length. But there will be a surprise with the Switch 2 that we're not expecting.
Yeah.
Whether it's the adaptive joysticks.
Yeah.
I wish
that.
That would be really cool.
So cool.
Or if there's some kind of, I don't know, we were talking about all sorts of things that could be a surprise in there. VR maybe. Or I don't know. There's going to be a quirky surprise.
I think that joystick thing would be wicked. If
adaptive joysticks.
Yeah.
So cool.
So like adaptive triggers, but for your joystick, so it can create like different pressure and tactile feedback.
I feel like a fluid or solid or like different types of resistance.
So you know when you play Astrobot's Playroom to the controller demo, and you literally can walk through the sand and you feel the rumble change, and then you can feel like, you know, you pull in the bow strings and stuff, but imagine having to push harder through the joysticks to wade through the sand or something. Like that. Such a cool idea.
The technology exists. They've patented it.
Yeah, that's a Nintendo thing for you that are listening.
Okay, so some honourable mentions we cannot ignore in what is going to come out or what has already been announced.
Yeah, just not yet.
MSI Claw 7 and the 8 AI.
Yes, plus. Yeah, the wicked
Worst
naming.
name.
Can we just give a really good big round of applause for MSI and their epic naming
Terrible
schemes.
naming.
What is with these
Firstly,
companies?
so the range of products is the Claw.
Yeah.
That's a terrible name.
Yeah,
It suggests that you're going to have
claw hand.
weird hands afterwards.
Yeah. Claw grip.
And I get like the numbering. So the MSI Claw 7. So the 7's like the stripped down version, isn't it? And the 8 is obviously the...
No, I think they're both exactly the same spec.
They're the same?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's stupid.
Yeah, the same specs, just one's 7-inch, one's 8-inch.
I thought the 7-inch had a lesser spec.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the same APU.
I should really do some more research.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
They come in different variants, but...
That's totally pointless.
You can get them both at the same spec.
What's the AI plus?
The wicked naming scheme is because it's got AI, I guess.
What is artificial? Right. Oh, I get such a bee in my bonnet about it.
Maybe it speaks to you. Maybe you can talk to it. It's like, hello. You know.
Something that's artificially intelligent is like is behaving separately
it's
to
sentient.
you. It's sentient in some way. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you talk to it like, hey, MSI Claw 8 AI
if
Plus,
they're
can
just
you
talking
install
about
this game?
like frame gen technology or something, that's not AI. That's just a frame generation
it's just
technology.
The chips got like hardware accelerating. I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Then call it that. When did that get released? It was November, was it? End of November? It's very recently.
December?
Start of December? Literally the past couple of weeks.
I don't even think it's out yet to buy, but they said...
They announced it.
Yeah,
it's
they were
like,
like, it's now released, but you can't buy it anywhere. I hate when they do that. You've announced it. That's not a release, is it? A release is it's on the shelf and I can buy it.
I get the impression, I don't know the team at MSI at all.
Because you won't reply to our emails.
Because they never reply. But I get the impression that the whole thing is just a bit haphazard.
Yeah.
It feels a bit like, oh well.
Yeah.
Oh, that one failed. Don't worry, we'll make another one.
Well, yeah, that is them, I think. They pump out like 50,000 budget laptops every month.
Apparently, this is what you've written as a note, approximately 20% boost.
Bazooka. I like that.
over the Ally X at the same TDP.
Yeah, and that is me just going off their press release where they've pumped it up. Yeah, they've pumped it up. But it doesn't surprise me. It's the new Intel
of course.
APU, which Intel are behind AMD for APUs. But this is their brand new one. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it's more energy efficient and slightly more powerful than the Z1 Extreme. Then cool.
Yeah, and you think, well, the Z1 Extreme is...
So it's a couple of years old now.
I was going to say 18 months at least, isn't it?
Yeah, at least 2 years.
Well, yeah,
so,
it should be at least a 20% increase in efficiency by now.
Yeah, so their whole big thing of the images that they shared was like same everything basically as the Ally X, but something like an extra 2 or 3 hours battery.
What was the previous serial for the Claw? It was the MSI Claw. What was the previous one?
It's just the MSI Claw.
It's just the MSI. It's got no number.
No, it's got no.
Where's the 7 and 8 come from then?
I don't know.
I was just going to say that was in the Black Friday sales in the 300s, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
It was really slashed.
And I'd still get a Z1 Extreme.
And that was where my conversation was literally going to go. It's like that was slashed in price, and yet the needle didn't even budge for me. Yet something as simple as the Steam Deck OLED going on refurbished sale, and I'm like, hello. Yeah. Or the Ally Z1 Extreme.
Yes.
At $399. I was like, oh, that's tempting.
That with official SteamOS on it, winning.
Well, we're going to get to SteamOS because that's going to be the big thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so the MSI Claw 8 AI 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Whatever.
That looks really cool. I screw the 7-inch. I don't care about that. The 8-inch one.
The aesthetics, you mean, or like how it actually physically looks? Yeah, it does look cool.
8-inch screen though. I think it's 144 hertz VRR.
Really?
Yes. Or if not 144, it's 120, something like that. It's a high refresh with VRR.
Great.
8-inch.
Yeah.
It's like the sweet spot. It's perfect. And I like the weird brown sandy handles.
I don't.
Do you not?
No.
See, they came, I remember watching like a pre-press release and they were like, we don't know about these. And then they just kept them. Like they said that, we think we're going to change them. And then they didn't. But I kind of like it. Like I kind of like
different.
The sandy, dusky,
it's
like, yeah. So
I just think it looks a bit dirty.
It does look a bit dirty and they will get dirty. But it's striking. It's obvious what it is.
Yeah,
if you see one, you go, that's an MSI. And everyone goes, oh. And then they go, no, it's the new one. And
why didn't you buy the Asus?
Yeah. No, but I have, like, I know we hate on the MSI Claw, the original one, because it was rushed out and it was, it just wasn't very good. If they budgeted it at a lower price point from the get-go, maybe it would have been worth it. But this new one is $900 for the top spec.
What?
$900. It's 32 gig of RAM. It's got 32 gig of RAM, 20% performance boost, supposedly, over the Z2 Extreme. It's got faster RAM as well. It's got like 8,500 mega transfers instead of 7,500. So we got quicker RAM, way more of it, an 8-inch VRR panel, and a slight boost in performance, potentially. I looked at their like games list. Some games are like exactly the same performance as the Ally, and then they like cherry picked the ones where there was like a big boost in it, and then got that's our 20%. I was like,
in this one game.
Yeah, I was like, but yeah.
My problem with the new MSI Claw is it felt like the original, the one that recently came out.
Yeah,
they dropped instantly.
They did. Yeah,
it felt like that lack of support would put a big question mark for me over spending $900.
Yeah.
On a handheld PC,
but
no.
Again, I know
they're not going to support it.
That's my number one problem here. Is I like the look of it.
Yeah,
I think the specs are great. I'm not massively into the Intel APU side. I'd rather wait for the AMD.
Intel anything.
Yeah. But this looks on paper to be a very good device, but my problem is, and I'm sorry, MSI, I don't believe in your software.
Exactly.
You know, it's going to be janky. I've seen what's on this already. It looks janky. If you got money and you cannot wait for, you know, the new AMD handhelds, the MSI AI Plus SteamOS.
Okay.
Now that would be something, because then you don't need any of the software from MSI.
We'll go to SteamOS now. I've got the notes from me, so I can come back to it. Because it's an interesting point you talk about. SteamOS is coming to these handhelds. We know it is.
Yes.
The leaks of the powered by Steam, SteamOS, SteamVR, all of that stuff. It's definitely happening. So we know it's there. I think what's interesting about the SteamOS thing is how much they've talked about the Ally X as their focus for this. Which tells me everything about where the market is at and where if you're in the market for a new handheld right now, where you should be looking.
Yes. Well, Asus is like top dog, isn't it? Really?
Asus Ally X with SteamOS.
Yeah.
I think that's a massively winning combination.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When official SteamOS drops, I'm totally going to install it.
Yeah.
Like for sure. Like
if you get something like the Save Point as well.
I was going to say the Save Point.
If you've not seen that video, do watch it.
Yes.
The review of the
Genki products.
And the Save Point in particular was an amazing piece of tech.
And it's also in the top Ally X accessories video.
Oh, nice.
Yes, which is out yesterday, I think. At the time this goes out, I think it was out yesterday.
Yeah.
So make sure you watch that as well.
Yeah, Save Point's great. So it's basically, if you've not seen it, it's a small external hard drive that MagSafes onto the back of your handheld.
It's an enclosure, but
you can buy it with the drive in it. And the idea is that you have your second operating system on that, and then you can dual boot in between.
And the good thing about it, which makes it really unique, this isn't even...
Oh, the capacitor,
It's got a capacitor in it. So if you accidentally disconnect it or there's a power output shortage, it won't corrupt your data.
Yeah.
There's a capacitor that makes sure it's got enough power to finish writing the data so that then it can turn off correctly without just yanking it out and then it corrupting. And the other thing is it's got 100 watt pass-through charging, which is insane.
Wow.
It's also got a MagSafe magnet on the back, and they give you a sticker. So I've actually stuck it on the back of my Ally X, slapped it on, and then boom, there you go.
It's not, none of the Genki stuff is cheap, but it is very cool and it's very well made.
The enclosure itself is actually really competitive compared to anything else on the market.
Considering the tech that's involved in it as well.
Absolutely,
you have an Ally X, put SteamOS on your Genki Save Point.
Yep, that's what I'm going to do.
I mean, it's just such a winning combination.
Yeah.
SteamOS is going to change this landscape quite significantly. I think it invites more people in.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I obviously you've still got the problem of installing it.
Well, this is where my head's going. Yes, you've got the problem of installing it, and that will put people off. And actually, the whole idea of SteamOS is that it's easier and more kind of layperson friendly. How long until some of these manufacturers ship with SteamOS instead of Windows?
Or dual?
Well, why not?
So you could choose.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like get it powered by SteamOS or with Windows.
How long until that happens?
I think that would be great.
If Asus were like, you can have a choice. It's pre-installed with Windows, it's pre-installed with SteamOS.
Yeah.
Which one do you want?
Yeah, same price or whatever. You just buy which one you want it pre-installed with.
I know I'm being really contrary because I use the Ally X as a Game Pass machine.
Yeah, Windows.
And that would make that redundant.
Yeah.
But I think I'd be more likely to actually buy it if it's shipped with SteamOS, because you kind of get a kick-ass Steam Deck then. Yes,
true, but you only literally use it for Game Pass.
I know.
If
so that's
SteamOS,
why
you can't play Game Pass.
I'm being contrary, but like the wider value.
Yeah.
It's just a really powerful Steam Deck, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
With a VRR screen.
Yeah. I think it would be a winning move with SteamOS because they've said they've designed it around the Ally X
for it, yeah.
So it's actually going to work. It's not just like badgering it on like Bazite, where that's just like for anything. And SteamOS is going to actually work.
Yeah, and Bazite isn't very good. And
I didn't have a good experience with it. No.
And what's hilarious with this, I think, is that SteamOS is going to beat Windows Handheld to the market.
Yeah.
That a dedicated handheld operating system for Windows.
Yeah. I'm winning because hopefully it's lighting a fire up Microsoft's arse, so that they actually start pulling their finger out and doing something.
Yeah, I've also got, there's part of me that thinks maybe they won't even bother.
See, it's so difficult though, because I love SteamOS and I'd love to just run SteamOS, but I can't because I love Windows.
Yeah.
Because the Windows gives me the freedom to play anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely anything, and that's the only negative with SteamOS. Everything about it I like, but I don't like the faffery of if I want to try and play from a different launcher, like the hurdles I've got to go over.
Yeah.
But also it's the biggest one is the lack of third-party cheat
Anti-cheat
support, So that's the issue there. And the fact that, you can't run Game Pass.
Is there a way that Valve get around that? Fix it long term?
I don't think so, because you're going through hoops with protons and stuff. And anti-cheat support's already there. Devs don't want to enable it for Linux.
Yeah. We saw it with GTA 5
Yeah,
Online,
they just turned it off. They just turn it off.
Can't be bothered. Switch it off. It's easier.
But ultimately, the ease and console-like experience of SteamOS, I love it. I love the use of it.
Yeah,
I genuinely love it, but I still want Windows underneath. If they could make a SteamOS instead of based on Linux, but on top of Windows, which is just Steam Big Picture mode, then I'd be all for it. And that's what I want from Microsoft. I want Windows with an Xbox on the top.
There's part of me that starts to think that it doesn't happen at all.
I don't know. I think it will, because we're still only 2 years into this.
No, here's where my head's at.
Okay, go on.
Instead of it happening, it's the Xbox handheld that happens.
Yes. Yeah.
And that obviously has a handheld UI that's based upon Microsoft architecture.
I think it's going to be the other way around.
You think the
UI is coming first. Yes. Because this is an Xbox and they keep showing an Ally X.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And then all these other handhelds, but mainly the Ally. They're like, look at this. This is an Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to be developing the OS for that, which is just going to sit on top of Windows.
Yeah.
It's going to come out on that. And then eventually, once they release the handheld, the Xbox handheld, oh, look, they've already got the OS.
How long, though?
Oh, it'll be another year, 2 years.
But seriously, how long do they have to sit on this?
That's annoying, isn't it?
How long ago? Let's just take the Asus as an example. How long ago did the Z1 Extreme come out? Or the Z1, sorry, come out? Asus Ally.
It was the Z1 Extreme, you're right.
Yeah.
That came first.
Yeah.
And then the Z1 came out, the lower version.
Sorry, yeah.
No, so you were actually right.
Yeah.
2 years ago now, I think.
It's a long time to be kind of saying.
Yeah, but you've got to think, before that came out,
we had Air Neo stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't count those though, because it's no, but I don't.
Yeah,
no, they are real.
I know.
And they're good for what they are.
Yeah,
but they're not mainstream. They're so niche.
Yeah,
they're almost custom built PCs. Super niche, crazy expensive, always getting outdated. Every week, there's a new one. So I don't see that when Asus came to the market, head honcho PC megabucks PC company. They're have that. It's whoa, hang on a second, you've just made a Switch. It's well, Nintendo and Valve have done it. Let's make a PC one, and then that's gone to Microsoft. Hang on a sec, that's our operating system running on a tiny little screen.
Yeah,
imagine doing Windows on your phone. Be a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and that's what it's like on the handheld.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
So whilst I think it's an absolute pain in the ass, I love the fact that Windows is there.
Yeah,
and it's just taken Microsoft a bit of time to wake up from their slumber to do something.
Okay, the Lenovo Legion Go S.
Ooh, I
use Z2s.
I low-key like this, even though it's underpowered.
It's a how it looks.
No, in terms of the chip, but
how it looks is very reminiscent of other things.
Yeah, but I don't know. The closest thing I think it looks like a Logitech G Cloud, because it's got that kind of bubbly, circular, oblong shape.
It's 680 AMD GPU, low performance.
Yes,
8-inch screen, but
yes,
potentially lower price, we would imagine.
No disconnectable Joy-Con-y things, which I like.
The disconnected Joy-Cons, I liked the idea, but they're not Nintendo.
No.
So it's totally pointless.
I don't want another thing that can break.
Yeah. Well, I didn't quite get the point of them, to be honest.
I understood trying to stand out from the crowd for having something
different.
new.
But what are you... Who's using them?
No one. Pretty much every time I see a photo of a Legion Go, it's people with a case on it, which lock the Joy-Cons in place, so it's got like a rubber shroud around the outside.
So
or whatever.
They abandoned that, basically, the whole idea. The problem with it is it'd have to be a significantly lower entry point, price-wise, in order for it to compete with Asus. And then how much does it compete with them? Well,
this is the thing, right? Because this, is going to be like a lower tiered Legion Go.
Yeah.
But we've got that 8-inch, self-contained thing. However, it's supposedly using a lesser variant of the Z2 AMD chip. So that's why it's got a 680M. The current Asus Ally and Ally X have a 780M. So it's lower, but the actual APU itself is the newer tier. It's just toned back a bit. So that to me makes it sound like it's way more power efficient.
Yeah,
it's going to be more efficient.
Better battery life.
Better battery life, lower output of power. Yes, it's not going to perform as good, but we're going to see a better battery life, I think. And then what that means as well is, like you said, hopefully the price can come down, make it a bit more entry level with an 8-inch screen.
That's,
which is what people keep screaming about. People go, I don't like the Ally X, it's too small. It's like, I kind of like that it's portable. But, there we go.
I'm with you. I think the size is fine.
I do think 8-inch is the way forward.
There's a tricky balance of battery life, though, isn't there?
Yes.
Once you start, it's a large percentage difference.
Going
up to an 8-inch. So,
yeah.
So battery's impacted, and that was the biggest criticism of the original ROG Ally, wasn't it? It's the battery life. So.
Yes, yeah. But so if it is this pared down version of the Z2 APU, and it's got better efficiency, even if it's got less power for the graphics, obviously that then again in turn leads to more efficiency. So I think they could be on something here. Make an affordable entry point and undercut everyone, and you could be winning.
SteamOS is obviously going to rock the landscape when it does drop, and it's pretty much nailed on to be next year. I think we can all accept that. The other thing that will rock the landscape, and not just the PlayStation and Xbox handhelds, which we won't see next year, but we'll probably see more leaks and rumors about them.
Yes.
But it's like, will we hear news of a Steam Deck 2 next year as well?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
You get to this interesting point where people don't buy because they're holding on now.
Yeah, I see that all the time. Should I buy this now?
All
or should
the time.
I wait?
Even with the Ally X, people are like, is it too late to buy this? You're like, dude, you've got a while yet.
Yeah,
It'll be all right.
Just been out like
6 months? You'd be all right for a minute.
Yeah, be all right for another couple of years.
If you're ever in that situation, either now or in the future, unless something is literally about to drop next month.
Like Switch 2.
Like Switch, good example. If you're like just anywhere else in the generation, just buy the best thing you can afford right now and don't worry about what's going to happen next, because especially in the PC space, it's constantly moving on. So if you wait, if you're going to wait for the next best thing, by the time you buy the next best thing, the other next best thing's already out. So just buy the best thing you can afford right now.
Or don't buy it at all.
And use it until it's no longer usable.
Yeah.
And
or
then move on.
Chop it in.
You could chop it in every 6 months if you wanted to.
Yeah. But you don't have to. But I mean, like, if you're really that worried and you want the latest and greatest, but you want something now,
just don't.
Then you can, resell.
I'm a firm believer of just genuinely don't worry. Just buy a thing you can afford and enjoy it until it's no longer enjoyable.
Because it doesn't become like invalid.
No,
it's just not quite as good as the next thing.
A great example of that is seeing the PC specs for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah,
and the minimum requirements was 2070.
2060.
I keep getting that wrong.
Yeah, you do.
2060.
2060. That's a real low end card now. It's like 8 years old.
Exactly.
It's a 2060. So like almost at the 5060 mark.
You've had that PC rig for a long time by this point, and you're still playing.
Still valid, yeah.
The latest PlayStation release that's coming on PC.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
News of a Steam Deck 2. Will we hear anything next year, do you think?
I think if we're going to, it's going to be at the end of the year, because Valve have already said as we all know, like we're not going to do anything until there's a noticeable increase in performance.
Yeah.
And how old's the Steam Deck now? We're coming into the third year.
Yep.
Well, it's already been announced for 3 years. So because it got announced like, I don't know, like 9 months before it came out. But anyway, so let's just say 3 years. So we're pushing in towards the 4th year, really, like we're like slowly getting there. In that time, the Steam Deck has shown that it's incredibly underpowered now. Yeah. The Steam Deck is basically the Nintendo Switch now of the handheld space. The PC's space is getting better and better and better and better. You know, stuff like that. MSI Claw 8 AI Plus is showing us the next Intel thing. We've got the Z2s coming. Yeah. You know, so
it's the things like that make it really important to move on.
Steam Deck's going to get left behind. Yeah. And I reckon at the end of this, you know, of 2025, should hopefully start seeing the RDNA 4 stuff, you know, ready for 2026. Yeah. And maybe that will get teased in the Steam Deck 2. But I don't know.
And when the Steam Deck 2 does appear, will they go balls to the wall with it? Or are they going to go like middle of the road again?
Yeah. It would make sense to go middle of the road again.
Because the clever thing I think they did was went middle of the road and priced it really competitively.
And everyone wanted one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what they should do.
The only difference is that when the Steam Deck 2 comes about, the landscape's entirely different.
Oh, SteamOS is going to be on all these powerful handhelds.
SteamOS is going to be everywhere else. And everyone else has caught on.
Yeah, yeah.
So when Steam Deck released, the landscape was just barren. It was
just them.
They were changing handheld gaming. Yeah. Now everyone's in handheld gaming. Mm-hmm. They may even have heard about the Xbox handheld by then.
And all the people that were put off of like the Asus and stuff like that will now want to go that route for the SteamOS
What are
side.
Nvidia doing in that time as well?
Yeah. Well, they just win if they rock up on the space. They're just going to, you know...
Everyone else has paid for the development.
Yeah. But, you know, DLSS is so much further ahead than anyone else's offerings. Yeah. So if they turned up with a really good, you know, imagine Switch APU on steroids or something, or just a brand new chip, I reckon they'll blow, you know, the pants off of everyone.
What is it that you want then from your next PC handheld?
What my dream handheld?
Yeah. If it were to exist next year.
If it's to exist next year. Unfortunately for me, it won't exist next year because
of course it's not going to.
I want no, but I mean in terms of the chips, I want RDNA 4 really to see a massive jump in performance over something like the Ally X. What we're seeing now, which will be announced properly at the start of 2025, will be the Z2 Extreme chips. Yeah. That's still RDNA 3.5. So it's only a half step jump. It's not even a full, like, that's like going from PS5 to PS5 Pro kind of thing. Like, it will be better, but it's not going to be like a leap, like a generational leap. So for me, RDNA 4 would be that leap. But let's just go with what we know. Okay, so a Z2 Extreme chip, if it's efficient enough and a good enough performance jump over the Ally X, then that's the APU I'd want, let's say. Or if NVIDIA come, yes, that. The other thing, I definitely want 8-inch screen. I really like the idea of that. 7-inch for me on the Ally X is fine. I just don't really like the bezels around it, which is everyone's pet hate.
Yeah, okay. I get more
because it's pretty fat. You know, you could keep the same shell as the Ally because I like the size, but just take away the bezels there.
We've done entire breakdowns on this channel, and no matter what side of the fence you sit on, you get it wrong. So, in this dream handheld of yours, is it VRR? Or an OLED panel? Or have they managed to figure out how to put VRR in an OLED by then
without
and make
flickering.
it work?
Yeah, without flickering. Okay, dream handheld OLED VRR.
Obviously, it doesn't flicker.
If it doesn't
the
flicker.
blacks work.
Yeah, they actually find a manufacturer that works.
Yeah.
It is difficult because OLED is so beautiful. It really is. But I feel like VRR is a necessary piece of technology for a device where it's going to fluctuate so hard. If it could absolutely guarantee that every game you ever release is going to locked in at 1080 60, then there's no need for VRR. You know, just give me OLED. But that's not the case. And the older it gets, the more it's going to fluctuate, the more you need VRR.
And you'll never get to a stage where all games are compliant and the game developers aren't pushing the boundaries of technology.
Yeah, exactly.
We've seen it with Indiana Jones and like the path tracing on it. Like the devs are always going to push what's possible to the maximum.
Absolutely.
Because there's some advantage in the game for doing it.
Yeah. So I think VRR is necessary. I'm still happy to go 8-inch VRR, like LCD or whatever. If not, if they can, I don't know, it's difficult because I don't really care too much about throwing like VSync on if needed, but there does, introduces some latency and stuff. Like I'd rather not. But I do love the idea of OLED because that Steam Deck OLED is something else. Like, it really is. It is beautiful. And an 8-inch will look so nice, like all lovely and vibrant and stuff. So an 8-inch, I don't know, let's say LCD VRR, if it's like really high quality, then cool. If not OLED, I don't know. I can't give you an answer there. It's too difficult.
Does it need to have a step up in RAM over the Ally X?
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
24 gig not
It's got
enough.
24 gig. Yeah. No, I think it needs to now, because if you look at the Ally X, right, and let's say you put 16 gig to system, that then leaves you 8 gig
for VRAM.
For VRAM, 8 gig is not enough now. No. It's not enough. It really isn't. 12 gig minimum.
Yeah.
So, you're looking at what? Another 4 gig. So what's it got at the minute? 24. So you're saying you want 28 gig? Just make it 32. Give it 14 gig of VRAM and then 16 gig of VRAM. And
okay, I guess, having the faster RAM as well that's now available makes a huge difference to that as well.
There's no need to go 64 gig. Like that's out overkill. Like that MSI Claw thing has got a 64 gig variant, I believe.
Why?
Like, there's no need. Or I might be thinking of that 1X.
You're thinking of the 1X Fly.
Yeah, the Pro.
1X Player.
F1 Pro.
Yeah, that's got a 64 gig variant.
Motorsport.
And I think a 3 or 2 terabyte version as well.
Yeah, there's different versions. Yeah. Well, it's like a 512, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 3 terabyte.
Can I be honest? If you're putting more than a terabyte in there, get in the sea.
I got a 2 terabyte.
I know, day one you put, but I felt like that when you were ripping your Ally X apart to put a 2 terabyte drive in. I
didn't break it.
The only reason I could get on board with it is that you put a faster drive in.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I
massively faster drive. But I think the RAM is important, but speed too. So like that MSI Claw has got like 8,500 terabyte.
Yeah.
A terabyte? 8,500 mega transfers per second. Whereas like the Ally X is 7,500, which is already real fast. But let's say it had 32 gig, 8,500, then that would be my like ideal spec. I think any more than 32 gig is overkill. 32 gig is great. 16 gig system, 16 gig VRAM, you're more than enough. I'd be happy with 12 gig in the VRAM, to be fair. But yeah, that would be ideal. Battery life, then, that all depends on how efficient the Z2 Extreme is.
Totally does, yeah.
But let's just say, for argument's sake, we want to raw power it through like the Ally X. Keep it 80 watt. You don't need to go bigger than that. As the chips get more efficient, you'll get more life out of the battery.
And the third kind of element to that triangle of problems is the more battery that you're using or wanting, the heavier the thing gets, and it stops becoming handheld.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. So.
And I think you're probably on a fine balance with 80 watt. An 80 watt hour battery.
I like the weight of the Ally.
Yeah,
personally.
but I don't think you'd want it to be much heavier.
Oh no, I wouldn't want to put it heavier. No.
I think it'd be very uncomfortable then.
But we've seen with that Intel MSI, the new 8. I hate saying the name. That thing, that's got an 80 watt hour, and they're saying that it gets like 2 to 3 hours more battery life than the Ally X.
It's just added efficiency.
Just because of the efficiency of the chip. So if the Z2 can be more efficient, get a boost in FPS, but also more battery life, we're winning again. Those are my like ideal specs there. I can't really think of anything else.
It's hard to, isn't it, until you see what the demands of the game are.
Yeah, but 8-inch for sure. 32 gig of RAM. Yeah, slightly faster RAM.
The final thing that I would wish for in that is a dock for the Ally.
Oh yeah.
GPU
dock. Okay. Accessories we want. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I think it's a real open goal at the moment, and I don't mean like an eGPU enclosure that I can use on my PC. I mean specifically made for let's say the Ally X, because that's the Windows handheld that I use. A dock that's got an external graphics card in it so I can play it on my TV and get an added proper added
like
boost
they've already
performance.
done the XG Mobile.
Yeah, that they stopped doing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that is one thing I forgot on my list, which leads into here. Needs to be Thunderbolt 5.
Thunderbolt 5, yes.
There we go. Now we can continue.
Because I think the missing part of the jigsaw is really obvious. It's the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, aspect of it. The TV experience. Yes.
If I'm going to spend £800-900, maybe £1,000 by the time these new ones come out on this thing, and the justification is it's a portable PC. It's like wicked, but can I use that on a big screen then, please?
Yes.
And it not look rubbish.
Yeah.
So do that and give me a performance boost that I can get from an external graphics card. I'll be as lazy as I don't necessarily need to be able to change the graphics card.
Yeah, you're on about literally what the XG Mobile is, but over like a Thunderbolt 5 cable instead. So have them already build in one of the gaming boxes that companies used to build back in like 2017-ish or whatever, where it's literally an all-in-one enclosed Thunderbolt controller eGPU, self-contained with the GPU inside.
Yes.
Exactly like the XG Mobile, and you just buy it off the shelf, plug it in, you're done.
Yeah,
no tinkering.
And I would say, even to the point of, I want my ROG Ally X to dock into it.
Oh wow! It does like a little crane arm.
At least be able to stand in it.
Yeah, no,
stand on it.
Yeah.
Be like that would be that'd be smart.
Yeah, it would be cool. Yeah,
I doubt we'll see it.
No,
because
it's a lot of engineering and
It's going to be very expensive.
Like the XG Mobile.
Yeah.
$2,000.
Yeah, probably.
Silly
and also there's the thing of, I'm coming from entirely the wrong perspective compared to what the market is for these devices.
Yeah. See, I'm the opposite of you. I want exactly everything you've just said, but I want one without a GPU.
You just want the chassis.
I want the chassis, yeah. I want the thing, which
Thunderbolt
is what I've built.
Controller in it, that's it.
Yeah. Basically what I've built myself, but done better.
Yeah.
You know, like I want from Asus or whoever, but it'd be cool for them to release it alongside to say, yes, we know this works, like whatever. Thunderbolt 5 enclosure, you know, top of the range like PSU or whatever that's going to be capable of such a range of cards. Enough space to drop in a card size of my choice, or maybe have an adjustable
cool.
Enclosure. So if you do go for like a 3-card triple fan setup, you can like pull it out or something, or like remove a piece, leave it in the box, you know. Whereas if you've got like a dual fan setup, you can like shorten it so you don't have to like buy different ones. That would be cool. And then you just drop your card in, boom, just like the Razer Cores, but like top spec Thunderbolt 5.
I'd say that the Razer Core was cool.
It's an epic idea.
It was really cool.
They just sacked them off and stopped making them better, which sucks, you know.
I genuinely believe next year is going to be exciting for handheld, handheld gaming in general.
Yeah.
Starting with the Switch and finishing up the year with all the rumors and news that we're going to see about Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam Deck and SteamOS. There's genuinely a lot of excitement.
Do you think Asus are going to enter the game again this year? Or do you think they're going to skip 2025? You think they're going to do another iteration?
No, I think they're going to skip it.
They'll skip it, yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll skip.
I think that'll be the right move for them.
Yeah.
If they try and follow along the Steam Deck path.
Yeah.
And they just spend 2025 making the Ally X cheaper. You know, just dropping the price down. As every new one comes out, drop the price down.
Yeah.
And then wait for 2026 when RDNA 4 comes.
That's what I think they'll
and
wait
then
for.
Just pump it out at like $1,000 and it'll be the best one ever. Do you know what I mean? I think that's
100%.
That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
Because they've said, just like Valve, they've said, we're trying to make this not like PC Master Race of one every year. They only did, because people were like, oh yeah, but they've already done Ally to Ally X.
But that was like a redesign, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a V1.5. It's a redesign of all the flaws that they found in the first one.
Yeah.
And the Ally X should have been what launched.
Yes.
But it just isn't.
100% that, yeah.
You know? So I hope that they wait a year. You know, obviously if they don't, then we'll see if they'll send us one and someone can buy my Ally X and I'll buy the new one so I can make videos on it.
That's 100% going to happen. Yeah.
But, you know, there we go.
Yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think about the future of handhelds, what 2025 is going to bring for us.
Yes. I'm
and
excited.
if you're excited,
I am.
Yeah,
I'm already excited.
and if you're excited for the new year, are you
Yes.
excited for the new year in gaming?
Yeah, Switch 2's coming finally.
Switch 2 is finally going to be
I know
here.
it's like the weakest handheld that's going to be out, but like
I'm excited for
I
it.
love Switch, so there we go.
I mean, the Switch switched everything for us.
It did, yeah.
and for everyone else as well.
And just gaming. I think it really changed gaming. And now look where we're at. We're at PC companies making handhelds.
It's mental.
Can you ever imagine that?
No.
If I went back 5 years ago and, do you know, Asus are going to have this little thing that can play like AAA games.
Asus is going to make a Game Boy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And everyone's going to copy, like, you know, and so's Valve, you know, and everyone will be like, yeah, whatever.
Go back a little bit further and be like, yeah, like there's going to be these PC companies, right?
Yeah.
They're going to make Game Boys
Yeah.
that can play like PlayStation games.
Yeah, actual PlayStation
Like
games.
no, not like rubbish ones. Like actual PlayStation
license, games. Like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
People would be like, what? The Last of Us, yeah. No,
mental.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Insane.
mental. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments down below.
Yes, me too.
Whilst you're down there digging around, please do like the video.
Yes.
Subscribe to
Yes.
the channel.
Yes.
Because that's the only way you can actually show us that you like us.
Yes.
And we know you really do
Yeah.
because you're here.
Yeah.
A bit of that.
And let us know if you like the new set.
Oh, it's very chill. I could be
really
here all day.
I'm really enjoying it, yeah.
We just need like hot drinks. I'll be here all day.
No, we need like a on tap.
Like beer.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like Pepsi. I was like, yeah, we can have beer.
Shows you where we're at.
Just get wasted on like episode 3.
Hey, I'll be up for an episode where we just get drunk. I think that'd be amazing. In this setup, we could have a TV there.
We could, yeah.
And just play.
Yes.
Which is a bit like how we used to stream.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it basically is, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's basically what we used to do. So let's not do that. If you're in podcast land, we love your ears. So thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you very
please
much.
do rate the show wherever it is you get it. 'Cause it does actually really help us out. If you're one of the listeners in Bhutan,
yes, thank you very much.
we are the top 2 show in Bhutan.
Yeah.
I had to look on Google where Bhutan is.
I don't know still.
It's in between some countries.
Amazing.
Yes, it's around China and India.
Okay.
In between.
If you're there, hello.
The population of about 700,000 people, which for us to be in the top 2 shows doesn't really say a lot.
But thank you.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
What else should they do, Andy?
They should become a member on the channel, and you can see all of our videos here. That's review videos, that's the podcast, that's the news, all that kind of stuff, nice and early.
It's like new videos,
It's
like
great.
4 times a week.
4 times a week.
Wow, real value that is.
Yeah. And also you get to speak to us over on the private Discord.
Yeah, it's a good place to be.
It is, yeah.
So until the next time.
Bye.